My brother told me to skip my graduation to babysit his kids and called me an attention seeker for choosing hats and gowns. So I gave him a nightmare vacation. My brother Kevin called me 2 weeks before my college graduation with amazing news. He'd booked a surprise anniversary trip to Hawaii for his wife and needed me to watch his 3 kids for 5 days. He didn't ask if I was available, just told me the dates and said he'd drop them off the night before. I told him those exact dates were my graduation ceremony and graduation party that I'd been planning for months. Kevin laughed and said I could walk at the next ceremony in December. When I explained this was my master's degree ceremony after 6 years of night school while working full-time, he said it was just a walk across a stage and his anniversary only happened once a year. He actually said my education would still be there later, but Hawaii tickets were non-refundable. I reminded him I'd already invited 50 people to watch me graduate, including our grandmother who was flying in from Florida. Kevin said I was being selfish, putting a piece of paper over family. He said his kids needed their aunt more than I needed to wear a silly hat and gown. When I said no, he got angry and said I'd already been his backup plan and told his wife about the trip. He couldn't disappoint her now over my need for attention. He said real adults didn't need ceremonies to feel accomplished, and I was being immature wanting people to clap for me. I asked why he couldn't get a babysitter, and he said he didn't trust strangers with his kids, and family was supposed to help each other. He'd watched his kids for free their whole lives, but somehow I owed him for being their aunt. Kevin had pulled this before when I was supposed to take the LSAT. He'd shown up with his kids saying it was an emergency, and I'd missed my test date. When I graduated with my bachelor's, he'd brought his sick kids to the ceremony, and I'd spent the whole time in the bathroom with his vomiting toddler instead of walking. Every milestone I'd had, Kevin had found a way to make it about his needs. But this time, I had a plan. I told Kevin I'd watch the kids and he could drop them off the morning of his flight. He was thrilled and started talking about how this would be good practice for when I had my own kids someday. The morning came and Kevin dropped off his 3 kids at 7 for a 9 o'clock flight. The kids were excited because I'd told them about the special surprise I had planned. As soon as Kevin left for the airport, I dressed his kids in their best clothes and told them we were going to a very important party. We arrived at my graduation venue where all my guests were waiting. I told everyone that my nephew and nieces would be special guests at my ceremony. The kids sat in the front row wearing signs I'd made saying, "Our aunt is amazing," and first in the family to get a master's. When my name was called, 3 little voices screamed, "That's our aunt," louder than anyone else. The whole auditorium laughed and clapped extra hard. My 8-year-old nephew took pictures with my phone while the 5-year-old twins threw flower petals I'd given them. After the ceremony, we went to my graduation party at a restaurant. I'd arranged a special kids table with coloring books about college, graduation caps they could decorate, and mocktails with umbrellas. The kids told everyone who would listen about how their aunt was the smartest person in the world and had worked so hard for this degree. They sang the graduation song they'd learned in the car. My grandmother made them honorary graduates and gave them candy diplomas. The kids had the time of their lives being the center of attention at an adult party where everyone treated them like VIPs. Meanwhile, Kevin and his wife landed in Hawaii and discovered their hotel had been canceled. Kevin had given me his credit card for emergencies with the kids, and I'd used it to cancel their reservation since clearly the kids graduating with me were an emergency. They had to pay triple for a last-minute booking at a different hotel. Kevin called furious, shouting that I was a psycho who'd ruined his marriage and he would beat me once he came back. Full story on channel, link below.